This Lenten season, we are on a journey into the wilderness of our lives. We started by simply drawing our awareness to the stuff that we're carrying, and today we're delving deeper and examining exactly what it is that we're carrying. I must admit, when Robin first sent me the passage for this week, I may have groaned just a little. Get behind me, Satan, and take up your cross and follow me? You've got to be kidding. Those two sentences come with a lot of baggage, perhaps almost as much as Robin unpacked in our learning our story together today. So maybe we can unpack it together. It says that Jesus began to teach them that the Son of Man must undergo great suffering, be rejected, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. Right. So have you ever had the experience of getting some really bad news? Like maybe a serious diagnosis or hearing the death of a loved one? Well, then you know that your brain stops processing information. You only hear up to a certain part, and then you can't listen anymore. It's actually a proven thing. Sometimes we get defensive and angry, and we try to justify why this new reality isn't possible. We might even bargain and plead. It doesn't matter that there's some good news or some less bad news at the end. It doesn't matter how clearly and openly or plainly they spoke. We simply cannot hear it in that moment. And I think that this is maybe what happened for Peter in this passage. He heard that his mentor, Jesus, the person that had so inspired Peter that he left his entire life behind to travel and learn with Jesus. And he was going to suffer, be rejected, and would ultimately face a death sentence. Peter totally missed the part that Jesus was going to rise again after death. That very miraculous, joyous information was lost, blocked by Peter's grief and disbelief. In a quite normal reaction to shocking news, Peter starts to rebuke or correct or oppose Jesus, saying that couldn't possibly be true. Maybe he even tells Jesus to stop talking like that. Stop talking such nonsense. Maybe even offering a list of reasons why that wouldn't happen. Or maybe Peter was desperately trying to preserve the morale of the rest of the disciples, for they had all given up so much to be with Jesus. And it might seem that now it was all for nothing. Whatever he did, Peter tried hard. And Jesus responded with, "Get behind me, Satan, for you are setting your mind not on divine things, but on human things." We've discussed how Satan, or Satan, is a Hebrew word for accuser or adversary, derived from the verb meaning to obstruct and oppose. So perhaps Jesus isn't calling Peter out as evil. More like he's telling him to get behind me, as in to get behind the fullness of what I am trying to tell everyone. Life will be hard. Sometimes people will reject us, even when what we say is full of love, justice, and peace. Sometimes the work we do will suck the very life out of us. But that's not the end. We have new life through God. a God who sees us, knows our every struggle, and does not abandon us, even in death. Jesus wants Peter to snap out of it, to hear the whole story, including the good news, to let go of what he thinks should happen and open his heart and mind to the full potential of what might be. Sometimes we, like Peter, get stuck in our need to control the narrative of our lives and the lives of those we love. This is a reminder that we simply cannot. There is much life, much joy and fulfillment when we let go of our human and societal expectations. If any wish to come after me, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Deny themselves. I don't think for a minute that Jesus is calling us to suffer, to deny ourselves the necessity of life. I think it is a reminder to look at what we are carrying, to examine the things that govern our lives, that push us and inspire us. For a long time, take up your cross and follow me has been interpreted almost literally. But in order to live a righteous life and follow Jesus, we must endure the suffering and rejection that he did on the cross. As I sat with this text and tried to get past the baggage that it came with, I asked myself, so what did Jesus carry with him as he journeyed to the cross? And as I thought back on the stories of our faith, I noticed that even when he was faced with suffering and rejection, Jesus continually offered love, belonging, and grace. Take, for example, in Luke's Gospel, in chapter 23, it says that as Jesus was carrying his cross through the crowds, he told them, a crowd that included women and children, he told them not to weep, because surely the day is coming when all will be blessed, even those who are barren. Which means if you understand the time where children were your kind of ticket for a different life, Jesus meant that even those who have no way of changing their life will be blessed. Later, Jesus pleads with God, saying, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And even in his last breaths, Jesus offers belonging and grace to the thieves hanging beside him, saying, truly, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. Never does Jesus give into the human instincts for revenge on those who have betrayed or rejected him. Never does he compromise his belief in order to appease leaders or to avoid challenging the status quo that benefits the powerful. All that he says and does are governed by love and grace that brings him life beyond his physical body, beyond any physical possessions. Can we say that? Or are we carrying stuff that we think matters? Notoriety, wealth, a checklist of what it means to have a complete or successful life by the time we are done? Jesus calls us to follow him, to build communities of love and grace, even for the people that have wronged us, to seek the lost and the lonely, to offer forgiveness, to pursue justice for all, especially those less fortunate than ourselves, to live with respect, with the fullness of creation, even when it is something we may not understand. To do this, not only occasionally, but every single day, with all that we have, realigning our lives and our world to what truly matters. This is hard. We all know it is hard. It's a lesson that we need to hear over and over again to help us remember the most important stuff in life is not the stuff in life. And that is what Lent is all about. It is an opportunity to rearrange our priorities. And so this week, I invite you to think seriously about the things that guide your lives, the things that you carry as most important, and prioritize. To contemplate ways that help you rearrange them when life gets out of sync. And you may even want to practice or incorporate them more into your lives, so that together we can all live the truly abundant life, the life for which we have been created, life which is found by giving up that this world, all that this world thinks matters, and instead living the life that matters to God. That is what Jesus did, and that is what he invites us to do. May it be so. Amen.